Right, it's Saturday on Your View. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I am Veronica Dan Ikboy. I'm not here alone as usual. I have my beautiful co-host, and today one of your faves is joining us this morning, and that's Busy. You are welcome in the name of... It's good to have you. It's good to have you. It's good to have you.
Damilola and
Toby.
Toby. Yeah.
Do you remember my name?
Of course, Veronica. You guys have been holding the fort. Well done. Well done so much.
Thank you.
So it's Saturday. Not on my bed. I usually have breakfast in bed. I usually huddle for... I open my eyes like 11, 12 every Saturday morning, but that is not working today. It's not happening today.
Abby?
I hope I don't yawn here, you know, but I'm fine. I have an event that's coming up on the 8th of July. Today is the 1st, so a week from today.
Yes.
It's an exclusive femininity event, dinner for women, because we want to help them to work more in their feminine energy. We've been talking about it.
Okay.
Dropping hints on social media.
It's okay.
If you follow me, you see all of the details. So I'm looking forward to that event. It's really going to be exotic for women who want to, you know, exude that feminine energy and be more at ease. Women who are tired of the burnout, of being the super wife, super mom, super everything, Miss Independent. You know, there's a better way to do it at the energy level. So that's what we're going to do. I'm ready for it. Yeah.
Interesting. Right, Kamola.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, I had an amazing week. It was restful. Of course, we had a public holiday, so I was just taking out time to do my thing, research on my work, focus on business. So yeah, I had a productive week as usual.
As usual.
Well done.
For those of you that had public holidays, I was here, so we had to be here, unfortunately.
I've actually learned, I'm really looking forward to this event because I suffer from burnout a lot.
Wow.
As an entrepreneur, So as an entrepreneur, especially if you run a small business, you're everything. You are the conglomerate, you are the social media manager, the designer,
the HR. All right.
So right now, I'm looking to,
No worries. We'll talk about it.
All right. You have a client already. How's your week?
Oh, my week was great. Great. The public holiday just made us bond more. I mean, with my children and then my husband. And at some point he was saying, I don't want to do anything today. I said, but food, you will eat, Abby. So it means I don't feel like doing anything today, you see. But it was very restful. I had some time with my children. I still had some
kids? Yes.
Wow. Wow.
How many? 2 boys.
Yes.
That's the first question. You're small, man. You look so young. Wow.
Oh my goodness. I get this so often. But even sometimes when I'm with my children and maybe they're crying, people will say, give this child to the mother now. Yes, so the week was great. I still spent some time also applying for grants too for my business. It was really great.
It's good. Interesting developments from everyone. Well, my week was a workful one. I was here, like I mentioned earlier. We didn't have public holidays.
Not
we
once.
had to deliver on our duty as journalists, and some concerning issues for me. 2 of them. Last month was Cancer Survivors Month, and we had that conversation yesterday. And I was speaking to a father of a survivor, and when he narrated the experience, I knew that we need to have conversations with regards to making treatment affordable and accessible for a patient of cancer, because transversing the nooks and crannies of Nigeria looking for treatments in one teaching hospital or the other,
it drains your purse.
Of course, and the son could have died, but thankfully he survived. And they spent 7 years in hospital, and so we need to do more with regards to that. And then the construction work is affecting other routes. We can see the level of damage. Other routes are no longer as motorable as they used to, because those roads were not made for the level of heavy-duty trucks that are plying those routes. And now we are having a situation where some routes are no longer motorable. the Lagos State government has to look into that aspect as quickly as possible. Let me stop ranting now. We need to go on break. When we return, we'll look through the newspaper headlines. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's quickly go to the dailies now, and we will begin with the Nation newspaper. The major story here: anxiety, confusion trail electricity tariff hike. Frustrated consumers unable to recharge accounts. Discos blame vending challenges on poor network. Nigeria and Electricity Regulatory Commission, MOM, as AEDC insists no increase for now. All right, you'll find the details of this story on the front page. And then another story here: popular pastor hospitalized after collapsing at airport. Another story here: police arrest officers who ran over handcuffed man. Inspector General of Police summons affected corps. Edo CP, that's Commissioner of Police, sues for calm. Inside Bauchi's female gay community, state battles same-sex activities in spite of strict Islamic law. And then unease in Enugu as killings, kidnappings set communities on edge. Police anxious, residents in verbal war. As to NUC clash over curriculum for universities, it's a nightmarish model of curriculum re-engineering. Union speaking there. Sultan, Niger Delta leaders back Tinubu over subsidy. Others support president to defeat insecurity, Shetima tells Northwest leaders. All right, so let me begin with the major story. There was stories making the rounds that there will be a 40% increase for electricity tariff. But the Regulatory Commission hasn't come out to speak because discos have to wait for them to speak to that before they can determine if they were going to increase the electricity tariff. But Nigerians are having challenges with loading their cards, those who have prepaid meters, and they are feeling like these people are trying to be smart by half.
They're stalling.
But the discussants have said that no, it's network that is the issue. It is not trying to be smart with you guys. It is network. Because a lot of persons wanted to take advantage of the window to ensure that they load their cards before the increment, which is supposed to begin today, but it is not.
Yeah. But you know, during the week we had taken where the disco said they've not been given any go-ahead.
Of course, they haven't. The Regulatory Commission has to give the go-ahead.
Speculation that they're not planning to, and you know, some stakeholders are also saying that this is not the right time to increase electricity tariff, since we're still suffering from the fuel subsidy. I don't know why people are not able to load.
That's the issue. Now, the volume of persons who want to take advantage of the window in case they eventually increase you know, the electricity tariff. But then, whatever it is, they should ensure that their system works. Bottom line, that's what it is for Nigerians.
I was able to recharge last night. So I also had it in mind. But one of the things that just served as an ease for me was that knowing my monthly consumption for the rest of the year, I'm not going to buy electricity.
So you
again.
resolved everything at once?
I think Nigerians are used to panic buying. Once they know that the price of a product is about to be increased,
Everybody is
exactly because you cannot really buy for a lifetime, because if you buy
At least they can save up.
you buy for 6 months,
That's
you will
afterwards.
still exhaust it and you still
But
pay
40% saved
It's
in the next
it's a lot.
6 months.
But you solve enough.
Increasing now. Why are we panicking?
The issue is we don't trust the system.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
That's it.
We don't trust the system. If we did, we wouldn't panic buy anything at all. Right. Who has any other story?
So I have the founder of Omega Power Ministries, OPM, Apostle Chibuzo Gift Chinyere. They said he's been hospitalized over an undisclosed illness. I'm sure we remember him as the pastor that sent those boys to Cyprus to study, and in the news came out that they were not able to pay their fees and all of that. So an image of the cleric on a hospital bed had gone viral on social media. They said they saw another video where people were trying to resuscitate him, but they made a post on his Facebook page which reads, "Please let us endeavor to put our Father in the Lord in prayers." Many of his church members and followers are taking to social media to pray for his health. So we don't know what exactly is the cause of the collapsing, but hopefully he'll be fine. We're all praying.
Definitely he'll be fine. It is all he wants is prayers at this point. So Nigerians should pray for him. Whatever the controversies were, look beyond the controversies and just pray for him. That's the most important thing. Let him get better at this point. We need to quickly go on a break. When we return, we'll continue looking through the newspaper headlines. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thank you for staying with us. Quickly before we move to the next paper, there's this story because it caused some ripples on social media and even in Edo State. So some policemen used their van to ride over a particular man who is in his 50s. His name is Success Ihimari in Edo State. They handcuffed him and rode their van over him. So that kind of caused tension. So they had to shoot in the air to disperse people. And so now the Inspector General of Police is saying that, you know what, we have arrested these people. We have them in our custody, and we are asking that they come to Abuja to answer certain questions with regards to the incident so as to douse tensions. We know how Nigerians are when it comes to relationship with the police force. So issues like this, the police has said that they are going to address it. Let's just keep our fingers crossed to see what will be done, ensuring that there is some level of transparency. People see what kind of disciplinary actions are being taken to address the matter. That's why I needed to quickly touch on that issue. To the Punch now. The major story here, retirement windfall, ex-service chiefs get 4 bulletproof SUVs, 20 domestic aids, really? 36 soldiers. And another story here, father's heart-rending moments as wives labor in delivery rooms. And how I emerged best UTME candidate with a 360 score, teenagers speaking. Films helped me master Mandarin language. Nigerian who topped Chinese varsity at graduation. Fiancé left me after losing my leg to auto crash, says ex-security guard. Happy endings inside massage parlors where clients demand erotic favors. Well, consumers, traders lament as tomato pepper scarcity hits market. Who has what story?
I have a story on page 20 and 21.
Right.
The father's heart-rending moments as wives labor in delivery room.
All right.
Now this, when I saw the headline for this, I could relate because, you know, when my husband was, I'm married. Yeah, because of the way she was looking at me. And this article goes on to say that, you know, they interviewed like 5 men who gave their own perspectives of that moment. And one of them said he was the one who handled his wife's delivery.
Wow.
Another one said he developed high blood pressure.
After what?
During the process.
Okay.
Then another one said his wife and his child actually died.
Oh,
Process, yes. And
very
then
sad one.
a medical practitioner actually now said that the process of childbearing is an experience for couples
To bond.
Go together.
you know, because most of the teaching hospitals do not allow the husband
to be there,
to be in the delivery room. So he was advocating for the husbands to be present because it kind of like changes the perspective of how they
will not treat you
women.
afterwards. Sometimes I'll treat you afterwards. I always ensure that my husband is in the labor room. However, he faints while
They're helping you, they're helping him.
I'll just say, where's the water? Where's the water? Well, I'm trying to bring this baby, but it's always an experience that bonds us together. So
Absolutely.
So sometimes there are negative reactions to it. I do not want my husband to be in the labor room to watch me.
Why?
Because men tend to store a lot of pictures in their head.
They will delete it when they are done.
Exactly. So it can
This is
cause-
interesting.
That is me. That is me. So I've heard some men actually say that they cannot stand that scene. And then it messes up their psyche. Sometimes they cannot.
Why not rather have a
because
conversation
it
with the
keeps-
man to
it
ask,
keeps-
okay,
it
would
keeps
you
flashing
like
in
to
his
be
head.
there
Or not?
Yes,
or not?
you can ask.
So if he agrees,
Because you will
please
be
be there. Be there.
You have to be there.
I did not do it alone.
You can hold me on my bag while
Who
I'm
has
going,
another
but
story?
sometimes
Sorry.
outside.
I was going to quickly explain that when I had my child, my husband was saying, you can do it, don't worry. You can do it. When we got back home, like 3 days after, he couldn't next thing, my husband just started crying. He was not saying, how can you have gone through that process? Look at you, I don't believe you know, and he was really crying. I was like, reality just got
hit him.
One thing was that after that moment, he gave me
changed
the
him.
respect.
He will love you.
Of course.
Forget.
Okay, who has another story?
Okay.
No other person.
I have, yes.
Okay.
The military troops of 4 Special Forces Command, Doma, Nasarawa State, arrested 12 suspected rail track vandals at Agwanyari in the Kena local government area of the state. According to the acting deputy director, Army Public Relations of the command, Joseph Afolashade, he was the one that stated this while he was doing a press briefing on Friday. And he said that they had a routine patrol and they intercepted 5 suspected rail track vandals. Why they started having investigations with them, they realized that they had extra people. It was more like a syndicate, and so they arrested. That led them to arrest another 7 of them. And the people were begging. They had top leaders in Nasarawa State. They were actually funding and sending them on those errands, and so they were begging. They wanted to bribe the officials with 5 million naira to be able to cut away with the rail tracks that they had stolen. We always talk about this. Government spends so much building those infrastructures for us. We, the people, will go there and steal. And now they have top men. So these suspects that have been arrested is not enough for me. I want them to name those top of men who.
But you know how it is with naming and shaming in this country.
And arrest them.
We don't do that. We see sometimes construction work is going on, and we see some people, destroying the roads because they want there should be traffic. And they can sell.
Can sell, they can steal,
and all of those. So it's about we being responsible as a people is very important. One quick story here is the happy endings inside the massage parlor where clients demand erotic favors. So there's this story of a particular guy who runs a massage parlor. He said that a client called him to come and, she wanted massage, and afterwards the lady was saying that because of the way he massaged her, she was feeling so relaxed, and she wanted
other things.
And the guy was like, I'm sorry, I don't do it because it is not my thing. And she paid him. She told him that she was going to add more money.
Wow.
And he said no, that he is not up for that. And after that incident, she never called him again. We've had stories of massage parlors, some persons, masseuses being, people just come there because of the way they feel afterwards. They start harassing them. They want happy hour, happy ending, whatever it is. But it's an interesting
It's a decent one to have refused.
Well, maybe he actually doesn't offer that
service.
There are those who offer
actually
such
offer
services.
it.
Yes.
They would ask you, do you want
Happy hour.
ending?
Happy ending.
Oh, I don't
It's
want
it's called happy ending.
Yes.
Yes, happy
Yeah,
ending.
I'm like, yeah.
What are you calling my name for? Look at Stobio.
It's okay. Me,
Happy ending is not new now.
Saturday Vanguard. Thank you. The major story here: increased hardships, rising hopes. Nigerians will enjoy later. Abdulrazak speaking. By in 30 days, hope rises for total change in Enugu. Rape victim commits suicide. That's a sad one.
Very sad.
Abu Broker enduring peace between Igbos and Yorubas in Lagos. Uzodinma speaking. Obaseki's tortuous quest to reinvent Edo. Davido breaks silence on pregnancy drama, declares Chioma, steal my assurance. Interesting. Buhari's confession on oil subsidy, he sacrificed national interest for party benefits. Nigerians. All right, who has what story?
So I have the very sad stories, unfortunate. In Eruwa community in Ibarapa, East local government area of Oyo State, a middle-aged man, simply known as Ajibode, allegedly raped a 16-year-old Olayemi Agbeloba, the apprentice of his wife at their residence. So he was, what's that his profession again? I think a carpenter or so. I'm going to get that. While the wife was a fashion designer. Okay, he was a welder and the wife was a fashion designer, and so the young girl who came to learn how to sew was living with them. So you know how they do all this apprenticeship system where you leave and then you go to work with your madam. And after about 6 months, he started harassing her. So this particular day in the night, he went in and raped her. And the girl was so traumatized that she had to drink an insecticide. Yes, just drank it and died. So while they rushed her to the hospital, before she died, she confessed to the nurses that the man actually raped her. So the parents are complaining. The mother actually said that she had reported to her that the man was harassing her, and she was planning to come and take her back home, but she was wondering and asking, should she stay and finish the apprenticeship before, you see, where you're supposed to take action. I won't even hear that. I'm already fighting, you know. And then now this has happened. She has finally lost this girl. The man, on the other hand, was going around boasting that they had arrested him and released him, boasting that nothing can be done to him. He knows a lot of people in the society. He will be able to get himself out. Nothing can be done. So the parents are asking for justice, that they need him to be prosecuted for the acts. The mother and the father are really bereaved. That
He should be. Justice has to be done. Any other story? Who has any story here? Nobody. We'll move on quickly to Saturday Tribune. The CSOs to independent marketers. Nigerians will reject 700 naira per litre petrol. Experts warn of job losses, rise in crime rate. UI done suggests urgent palliative measures for the poor. There's been talks about some percentage increase in the price of petrol. And then another story here says, I divorced my second wife, sent first wife home because things are very hard. I'd like to understand the story. Interesting. Gas cylinder explodes, raises buildings in Ibadan. My 1.2 million cash gone, cries landlady's brother. Makinde appoints Operation Bust DG, 11 other aides. Ujudeba, okay. ASU slams NUC for imposing 70% curriculum on varsities. Stop misleading Nigerians. NUC fires back. Any about that is not chosen by Ifa will be misbehaving. Olowo of Kuta speaking. police arrest officers for running vehicle over suspects. What's your story?
I have a story there, and it just focuses on the concept of fake it till you make it. So this lady here, she's the one narrating the story, telling us about her friend called Bosson, who wanted to be in the finance industry, and as at the time when he was planning to go into the industry, he didn't even have all the resources, he did not have the knowledge, but he kept on claiming that he wanted to own his own bank, wanted to go to Wall Street, but then he realized that he needed to look the part, by, looking well, dressing well, packaging, even had to borrow money to, meet his clients. He actually developed, he actually learned how to, communicate in all those financial jargons and all of that. And one thing that is very crucial to this story is that because at the end of the day, this guy actually made it big, started landing big clients in the investment world. And one thing that is very key is that it's okay to aspire. You can actually fake it till you make it, but while you are faking it, building capacity, building capacity, which he did. Which was what he did.
He was smart.
So at the end of the day,
it's empty.
He was smart. He knew added to have the content. Right. So what has any other story?
Yeah, so this man who had to, tell one of his wives to go home because of the issues on ground. The removal of subsidy is one of the issues. So he's a 43-year-old Yunusa Ahmad, hails from Gada local government area of Sokoto State. He lives in Warri. So most of them had to leave the north because of the insecurity there. They were not able to go to their farms anymore, and so they found a living in the south mostly. So he stays in Warri, sells electrical appliances and those other smaller things. So he had 2 wives, but when fuel subsidy was removed, the hardship was so tough he couldn't deal with both of the wives. So this wife has 4 kids.
Don't say that too.
The second wife doesn't have any child yet, so it was easy to say, "Madam, please pack your things and
go back
to your parents. I can no longer marry." And they asked him a question: how did that wife feel? He said, no, he didn't feel. She understood that she had to go back because of the measures. Even the first wife had to be sent to the village because he couldn't cope with taking care of them in Warri. Things were really very expensive, and so that one went back with the children in the village. So he visits them, once in 2 months in Sokoto to see them and stay with them, and then comes back to hustle. And he's saying that life is really hard for a lot of people, and they had to just find their way. And I'm wondering, if I was second wife and they say, "Come and be going because I can no longer take care of you." Me, I don't know.
I'm still not coming back.
I'm going to go without a fight. I don't know.
Well, what is there to fight for? But that's the question.
For the guy, how would he be coping?
I hope he does not take another one.
Manage himself.
He can't manage himself.
He feels he can manage himself and he cannot handle the responsibilities. But those children are yours.
Yes.
Those 4 kids, they are yours. Who takes care of them?
The wife in the village.
Perhaps you'll be sending money
Distance
to them.
Marriage.
So, all right. So I hear that we have to go now because our time is up. Unfortunately, we cannot take some other stories we have on the papers, but it's been an interesting time. We take a break now. When we return, we'll bring you our hot topic. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
so there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
I think it's only that can be wicked.
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah, they claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's
you
called
did.
what again?
Subterfuge.
Such a feud.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become for such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or
I promise you,
Bec-
it was
bec-
actually a mistake.
bec-
Like it
because-
was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just.
say that, yeah.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, we found this story online about a woman business coach who clearly stated that buying assets without the consent of your spouse is tantamount to initiating divorce. According to her, if you call yourself partners, then none of them have any justification to do that to each other. What are your thoughts? Join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948 or Twitter us using the hashtag YourViewTVC. Ladies, what are your thoughts on this? Because it's quite interesting. Do you necessarily have to have your separate assets? And if you do, does it have to lead to divorce? I mean, is it that of a matter that you feel that it should end in divorce because you have your asset and I have mine, and then it is ensuring that, okay, this means that we are going to divorce, so why must you have yours?
Secrecy. Yeah, it's a secrecy. Yeah, if you do not declare your assets to
Asset
your spouse.
declaration.
So exactly, because you can acquire a property, and not tell your husband about it, or the husband acquires a property.
Okay, maybe you want to surprise him, Abby.
Not surprised. There's some women there's some people who just feel the need to hide some of their assets. Why? For whatever reasons. Could be as a result of maybe mistrusts. It could be that the woman is the breadwinner.
Okay, so you did not know the
controlled.
man is not someone you can trust before you got married.
Things happen in marriages, oh.
I know.
Things happen
I'm just asking.
at the beginning.
Very
it looks
simple
all
question.
rosy and all, and then the woman probably starts making more money than the man, and then she suddenly realizes that this is the weapon fashioned against me. And he just wants to collect everything, like, madam, how much did you bring today? Or he starts, being reckless with the woman's money. Any woman in such a situation would feel the need to hide whatever she acquires afterwards because she's working hard for it. And she does not want another person's son to squander it for her. So, yeah, I understand that the whole idea of hiding your assets from your spouse is a bad idea because it leads to betrayal. But you call me your partner and you cannot tell me that you acquire.
Does it necessarily mean you're betraying?
Did that I will not allow you to go. So why didn't you tell me? But then there are extreme cases that make people
where you may
do
need
what
to
you
protect
do.
yourself.
Yeah.
So I like how you started this conversation. I like, the ideal. There's an ideal situation of marriage, how it's supposed to be, how it should be. Most times it's different from how it really is. And we must, all these blanket statements, we must, when we are making them, be sure that we are covering all the angles. So if you're in this ideal situation, this flies for you. Secrecy is wrong. You shouldn't have this. Your property is different from your partner. You shouldn't, ideal. But if you're not in an ideal situation, how do you advise women in that position to act? Over centuries, men have always not disclosed everything they had to their wives. And it was normal. The society accepted it. A man should not tell you everything he's doing. And we don't kill them. We don't harass them. Now, over the centuries as well, women have been disadvantaged. So let's look at the root cause, how this started. Disadvantaged in such a way that the relationship could collapse. The man could die.
Could have happened.
Yes, the man could die.
And the families,
thank you, the family members
come and cut away what both of you worked
Not only
for.
if they cut away and leave you in the house is different. They can chase you sometimes naked. I've seen stories of women who left with just what they had on. They couldn't even pick any of their jewelry out of the house because something happened and then the marriage is no more. And so women started saying, how do I protect myself? How do I, because I don't know tomorrow, how do I ensure that if anything happens today, I can find my own 2 feet and I'm not going to be begging and borrowing to survive or help my children. You know, that is where it came from. So a woman who has seen that happen to maybe the grandmother or the mother, and you're telling her it's a sin to disclose, she'll be looking at you like, you don't know my situation.
You don't know my story.
You don't know my story. This is not going to work for me. So the idea is whatever works for you. So I have like an ideal situation by the grace of God where from the beginning we know everything that comes in. Until date, it has worked for me perfectly. And I also want to believe it works for him because I see my face. I think even though I know everything.
Confession.
Yes, I confess every day on this table. I still hide money small. I'm just used to keeping money aside for, you know, different little things, you know. But it's an ideal situation where we're not hiding anything. Now, some men who are gentlemen realized because of what probably their mother had gone through, the experiences they've seen around them, they now say, okay, I will better protect my wife. Meaning that for the properties that we are going to be buying going forward, it's going to be both our names. Not Mr. and Mrs. So, because if it's Mr. and Mrs. Okonkwo, anybody can be Mrs. Okonkwo tomorrow.
Yes.
So Mr. Juliet, Mr. James, and Mrs. Juliet Okonkwo. So that if Suzanne comes, Suzanne can only claim of that property tomorrow.
Very important.
You know, so those are men who are sensible. Some men till today, their wives don't know anything about their property. And now you're advising the wife to make your own plain. Let us be telling ourselves.
Now, I'm still staying with you because you mentioned that you have an ideal situation and that you guys from the beginning know what comes in. How did you get to that point? Let people know. How did you guys come to that point of saying, we must ensure that we both know what is coming in?
Okay, so one of the first conversations we had in...
Conversation.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes, we had
communication.
Communication. Yes, I am. You can't get anywhere without communicating.
Clearly.
At what point two of you are no longer aligning? And you can
Thank you. At least somebody is on my side.
Today, you've always been on your side.
So we had a conversation that we will... So we started really early and we started as friends. So some things were easy to just talk about. My first job, he knew my pay. His first job, I knew his pay. You know, we were growing like that. And we said to ourselves that we are working together as a team. That means two of us would fight whatever the world throws at us. We're not going to be working against each other. Whatever you have, whatever I have, we had to pull together because we started together. That's one. I did not meet him as a blown boy. I met him when I was there, present when he bought his first car, when we built our first house, you know. We were together. And at some point I had to say, we had to divide the money in a way that, okay, your own bill is going, your own income is going to building the house, buying the blocks, the cements, paying the workers and all of that. My own is going on the school fees. Feeding and school fees. You know, we had to. And it's been working. I know everything he owns. I know everything he has because he has seen that this is how I want to run this. The small money I hide is from the allowances that I get that I hide from. Do you understand? Yeah, I know that. Because
I want to happen something.
Thank you, my sister.
I didn't hear that part.
To go shopping on the side.
Oh, right. We do that. I just want to happen some things. You talked about friendship and you talked about teamwork. Most people do not have that in their relationship. And so the question is, why did you get married?
That's a deep question.
Why did you get married? Why did you decide to come together? Some persons just want to have someone in the house, having my babies, taking care of anything, whatever I am doing is none of your business. So just come and fulfill whatever it is I brought you in for. Do you see that person as your teammate? Are you seeing the person as someone you can work with? Do you see that you can trust the person? That you can ensure that whatever it is us against the world, not me against you. Most persons in marriage do not have such conversations, and the basis of that is friendship.
Yeah.
Yes, some persons may not be friends before they got married, but over time, but over time, you can build friendship.
It is important.
You can build friendship because you are together with this person, and you already have at the back of your mind what you want to get out of this marriage. You might have had difficult experiences saying, okay, I saw how my father dealt with my mom, but that you mustn't continue in that line. You saw that your mom perhaps wasn't happy at the end of the day, she struggled, and you want something different. Are you willing to have such conversations, to unburden yourself to say, guy, see, I went through this, so I don't want that to repeat for us.
This is so...
Because of our children. I don't want that for us. I want us to begin on a clean slate. How many people are ready to do that? Yes, you want to say something?
Yes. From your conversation, I think that it is very important to know your spouse. Right? So in the case in point now, some spouse may be the spender, another person may be the saver. So if you're relying on a spouse that is the spender for God knows 40 years, you find out that you don't have any assets.
True.
Right? So it is very important to put that in perspective too, your spouse.
Quickly, before you speak, because I know you can't wait. Calm down, calm down. We need to quickly go on a commercial break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation. Just stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Ask questions if I want to ask questions, and if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask.
Thank you for staying with us. So we have been talking about the story we found online about a woman business coach who stated that buying assets without the consent of your spouse is tantamount to initiating divorce. According to her, if you call yourselves partners, then none of you have any justification to do that to each other. Do you agree with her or not? Join the conversation. Call us on 081-270-5368 or 091-390-76948, or you can tweet to us using the hashtag YourViewTVC. Damola, go ahead. You had something to say, please.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear.
I was actually going to, continue your thoughts about.
Are you sure?
Yeah. maybe not exactly. I was just going to buttress it. There are some people who have had bad experiences in the past. So, for example, in the developed world, you know how divorce can be messy when you have to split your assets 50-50 between you and your wife when you need to go your separate ways. So, if such a person has experienced that in the past, has been in a marriage that he or she had to forfeit like 50% of their assets, there's a high chance that the next marriage they get into, they will not declare everything. In fact, they would make the spouse sign a prenuptial agreement to say that if we go on our separate ways...
You never see love.
I'm saying that there's a possibility. I'm not saying that that is how it is. Yeah, but there's a possibility that such a person might be extra careful in declaring all they have because they have trust issues. They don't know if they're coming in for what they own. And some women actually do it. They target men who are wealthy and then they date them for a while and
go through the divorce.
Yeah, go through a divorce and ensure that they get 50%.
They get, of course. So
that kind of person would be very,
opportunities. Those ones are trying to take advantage of the situation.
I also wanted to remind us that sometimes it's not because the spouses want to hide their properties. It's just the situation they found themselves.
Absolutely.
So take, for instance, a man who has made money, has gotten everything. You're coming into the house as a housewife without shishi, gummy your bum. Just come, just come and dump you, right? And you sit down, and in a few months, you're expecting him to start changing his papers and putting your name. It's not going to happen. Yeah. Or he starts, buying things in your name. He starts showing you somebody who just got married to you. He's already made. He's done his work for years and everything. He will now come and give you hey, madam, this is my pay slip. This is how much I'm earning. This is it's not going to happen. And we know that most.
Why though?
So some men already have family responsibilities before getting married. So especially those men that don't marry early. Maybe it's the first son from a family. I'm just giving scenarios here. It could be either way. And he's been the one taking care of his family members, he's the one paying the younger one's school fees, he's doing a lot on that front. And then he marries a woman who doesn't have anything to her name. Even his family members will call him a fool if he carries everything to give her or shows her all the assets. This is somebody that's just coming in. She has not even earned her place.
Sometimes
and in some parts of Nigeria, you have to earn that your place by giving birth to like 4 boys.
Princess calling from Ikorodu. Good morning, Princess. Glad to have you. Go ahead with your contribution. Yes.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So, I want to contribute. I started making.
Could you speak, Clara? Right, better now.
When my husband was making money, I do make up. I didn't know much about it. Thank God, I started making my baby. By the time my pregnancy began, he knew about it. He was even the one that carried on the project everything.
Okay, unfortunately,
it's muffled.
Yes, it's muffled, and we couldn't really get the crux of what she was saying. But she was saying, "Thank God about something." I think they worked together.
I think she wanted to share her own.
Yes, she wanted to share her experience. Unfortunately, but if you could call back, we would appreciate that. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I was going to ask BC if the case was reversed. I mean, so if a woman was made already, a more mature woman, just saying, okay, it's only a husband I just need now and just marry somebody else. Would you still give that advice?
Yes, now. Why would you want to give everything to somebody you are just marrying? I don't understand. Let that person
have your place.
That place.
Please,
because you have made your money.
I want to understand what we mean by earning your place.
Okay.
What did you see in the person before you decided to bring that person into your home as your spouse? Did the person not have the quality of someone who has positioned themselves as earning a place in your heart in the first place for you to decide to marry them? I'm asking a question.
Veronica, you know that the way women are wired, they can easily give you their heart but not their money. Have you people heard that before? Have you heard that before? A woman can easily give the heart, but it's tougher to give the money.
Okay,
so when a woman gets to a point where she gives the money, she has given all.
All right, Princess, thank you for calling back. All right, you can go ahead with your question. Yes.
So he was the one carrying out this. I was saying, he got this speech and said,
We have a challenge with your line. It's muffled and we can't really hear you. But if you can drop comments on our Twitter page using the hashtag YourViewTVC, we'll definitely find that comment. Or you can go to our YouTube page and drop your comments. We'll definitely read that.
Yes, so yes, you asked the question, right?
Yes.
Didn't you trust the person before bringing the person?
We were talking about earning your place.
Yes, earning your place. So we know that even in leave money aside now, even in romantic relationships, when you get in and you start and it leads to marriage, it's not everything you tell your partner in the first 2, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 2 years. There are some things you will still share later on that has happened to you before you met.
So,
but you feel like
earning your place is trust.
Trust, that's the trust. But the trust is not. The trust and the romantic emotions don't go together if you want to be logical. Trust needs to be earned, whether it's a colleague relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a marriage relationship, and it takes its phases. So where people get into trouble is where you allow your romantic feelings to get a hold of you,
becloud
your sense of judgment, and then you carry all your resources and give to this guy who, especially for, if it's the woman, like your own case now, if it's a woman that is married,
not her case, though, not her case.
If it's a woman that's marrying down, marrying the younger man,
marrying down.
Men marry down most of the time. You don't even know where he's coming from. You don't know his agenda. You don't know if he wants to take your properties and leaves you without. And you know, most women who even do that, let's take for instance, she's had a first marriage and then the husband dies and she has assets, properties, she's raising her children on the side, and she decides, I need companionship, and she brings this guy home. Before you realize, the guy is commanding everything and also carrying girl on the side. This husband that is late, the husband's property, and then you say you should have trusted before you bring them in. These things are not that way. But I like how you did your own when you commented about it. You said, if this person is a spender and this person is a saver, you must understand in an ideal situation who should manage the assets and the properties. You must have that conversation. If it's the woman that is more prudent, let her be the manager. If you want to go far in life, it's not about sex, it's not about who is the head. Two of you are working together as a team. If it's the man that is the spender, you know that you cannot give. Let me give you a typical example. I have a relation whose husband is what they call a fulefu in my place. Meaning a big fool.
Somebody that
child. So he dupes even her, the wife. They have properties that the woman is struggling, she's working back to back to make sure that they have a home. He will collect money, he will not pay workers. That's somebody that's supposed to work as a team. Should be people say ideal situation.
No, that's not an ideal situation. No, we have painted that already.
A house that they should have completed in 2 years, 7 years, they are still in linted. They have not moved in because he keeps defrauding and defrauding. And this woman will go back, take loan, and all of that. We had to call her and draw her ear. You not get sense. What is wrong with you? So did they give birth to you to come and be slaving for a man?
Exactly.
You know he's a spender, and he spends it on drinks and women. He's not even faithful to you. So why you say, hey, but I love him. He's the father of my children. Are you okay?
So what?
So we had to jolt her back to reality. In fact, one elder relative had to start collecting money from her to keep on the side. Because this is not good for you. This man can wake up one day and not come back home. How do you raise your kids? So you need to protect yourself. If you're not like me now, if I'm hiding assets and properties, that would be wickedness on my part. Because I'm in an ideal situation where I know everything that comes in, right? But if I was not in an ideal situation, all this advice people are giving with the Bible, you're on your own. I will hide. I will build. Now, the question, I will protect myself, Sister Veronica. There's no secret.
My name is Veronica. But the question is, why is she still in that marriage?
Hey, we want children.
You are not the one that I'm asking questions. This is the one I'm asking questions. In that marriage, if she knows that she's unhappy, these things are happening, mentally she's drained, physically she's drained, financially she's drained, and yet what is love that she sees? I need to understand what is this definition of love.
A lot of women are not self-aware. They feel like they are incomplete without a man.
Thank you.
So they always feel that, oh, if I leave my husband's house, somebody will laugh at me. So what if somebody laughs at you? They will talk for a bit and then they would move on. A lot of women need to start choosing themselves first, because the children you are claiming to stay there for,
they will still go and
they will marry. Exactly. And even if you die, somebody else will come in and mother them, to be a mother to them, not that, not kill them. Exactly. So we need more boldness. We need more bold women to say that this is enough. I'm not saying any little issue, carry your bags and go. But once you are exhausted, you first. Choose you first, please. And some people this whole idea, and this whole idea of even, okay, I'm not trying to undermine your situation. But it's
not her situation.
No. I mean the ideal situation of the joint account and all of that. How
having assets and all.
Exactly. As far as I am concerned, we are not joining anything. Hold your thing. Let me hold my thing. I'm not hiding from you. I'm not saying that, oh, I've not bought something, but I don't want any control. I don't want you to tell me how to spend my money, because I worked for it. So please, let me use it the way I want to use it.
You will not tell him how to spend his own money too.
Why would I?
Are you sure?
I can advise. If I see that is, of course, I can't even marry someone that is reckless, because to me, before I even choose a man, you have to be a mentor to me. I have to be able to learn from you. I have to look up to you. So you must have that financial discipline.
Why did you make up your mind to go in this direction? Why did you make up your mind to go in this direction of have your money, do what you like?
It's because
I have my money, do what you like.
Yes.
And you guys raise children together.
Maybe not my own experiences, but you learn from people's experiences.
Can you learn positively?
Yes, we can learn positively.
That's our idea.
And that's what I have actually taken away from it. I'm not saying we would not pool resources together, but that case of having a joint account where we are put everything. No, mine is mine. Because before I met you, I was an individual by myself.
So you feel lost when you bring your money together?
I'm not saying I feel lost, but I do not. That's the way we know it. I'm not saying I feel lost, but I do not want to lose the whole of me just because I'm married.
I understand.
I understand.
You have a business now. You have a job. You have everything.
You've worked so hard.
When we started, we had nothing. Says we were building together. Yes.
I have to drag that.
I really understand the perspective in which you're coming from, and really for most independent women, they would naturally speak like you. But when you now begin to incorporate religion into the conversation, when the Bible says when two now becomes one, you can now begin to change your mindset about this. But reality is that based on experiences that we've seen in times past, our parents, our grandparents, we've seen that if they had had their own, it would have been better for them.
Things would have gone different.
So the matter of religion that you brought in now, and the matter of, I don't know why there's that smirk on your face.
She said that these things are teaching the Bible.
Don't confuse me now.
I'm not confusing you. I'm only saying there was a smirk on your face, and I was wondering why. Because religion, we know how much religion holds, the impact it has on the minds of people. And you can sit with your partner. I'm always up for conversation. There is the religion aspect, right? Yes, you believe, and this is what your scripture or whatever you believe in says with regards to how love is, because the bottom or the root of all of this is love. Love does not seek its own. That is what it says in the scriptures. But then when you know that, okay, this is the path I want to take, are you ready to have a conversation with your partner or the person you got married to, saying, these are my reasons, and you ensure that this person sees reason with you and that this is not going to be a crack on the wall of your marriage that then separates you both at the end of the day? Because if you are saying, I want to go this path, and your partner is not seeing reason, it's another issue.
You move now. They tie you there.
You move.
You move.
These are the conversations you have before actually getting married, right? So if you see that the
if you have them, these days I hear that's not what they have.
They don't have conversations.
So we see that the person's values are different from yours. I do not see why you should go ahead with the marriage. And a lot of people actually see these red flags. They can see that their values are different from their spouses, but they'll still put their head.
The issue is most people think they can change people.
A grown person.
You can influence, but you cannot totally change someone.
You're not the Holy Spirit.
I mean, until the person decides to change, then they will change. But you can only influence them. Even it is only by the help of so many things, that the person is reasonable, the person can see, you have a conversation and the person understands what you're saying, sees the perspective you're coming from, and they decide, okay, let me just agree with you, I see reason. For my own experience, before we got married, my husband began to tell me, okay, this is how much he earns, this one, that. If he does a business, he would tell me. In my head, I was wondering, why is he telling me? Because I didn't understand that perspective initially.
Okay.
I did not.
So you were like, but now you're enjoying it, right?
Why not?
And then it is even helper plan.
Yes.
So when you know the amount coming in from your spouse, you're not placing unnecessary demands.
I'm telling you, it helps your mind. You don't place unnecessary. Some men, I know of someone who will give all his salary to his wife.
Give me the one for transport.
Give me what I need to do what is necessary for me, because she understands his itinerary and all of that, and then you can handle it. You know, the man is at peace, because he knows that once the money in your hand finishes, you will find a way. You will not come back to me to ask for anything again. So, but at the end of the day, it made me understand transparency in relationship. There's nothing, it's not difficult, but then it's difficult for some persons. I grew into it.
Okay.
And
I had to grow into it as well. It was difficult in the beginning because my background did not give
I was an independent person. I'm like, it's my money. What's this, that? I understand you.
My background give you a little.
I need to keep you going a break. We need to go on a break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ready for an electrifying morning experience.
Welcome to the Max Breakfast. I am Debbie.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Benga Dainka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the question.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata bata, I go drink. So,
okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this, because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking, because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a trip, a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good talking.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Now Lagos with if you not jump person, person go jam you.
You know, every time you open that your stupid mouth, you show exactly what you know. What?
You are drunk. Jesus!
You can't defend your wife anymore now, Julius.
Right.
None of this is his fault.
What's going on?
I can't explain, just come.
We are the Durojais.
We are the Akbans. We are the Obioras.
So how are you two doing?
Who cares?
She's a rude girl. You are a stupid man.
Oh, Miss Miller, you are a stupid woman.
I mistakenly carried her bra. Mistakenly.
You took my bra.
What gives you the right?
He said he can face you.
This is interesting.
What?
I thought all we were doing was for your own good.
Which is to get married.
If you had fainted and you just woke up, what would you like to eat?
This is an old comedy script.
Who is this mysterious guest?
Anna is the name.
She is the brain behind all the stars.
He's even sleeping with her under your nose.
Excuse me? Don't you think it's too early?
So where is she? You better stop talking.
I can't take it anymore. Just so you know.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Remember, you can join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948 or Twitter us using the hashtag YourViewTVC. We have some comments.
Yes, we do on YouTube. So Eddie A says, if a situation is bad enough for a spouse to hide their belongings from the other spouse, then there should be a divorce.
Like, judge and jury. Don't judge them.
So Benedicta says, sometimes if one of the spouses is nonchalant, it can cause some of these things. And Aunt told me one time that she should have built her own house, but her husband is slacking because he doesn't have the money. And she claims they're not getting any younger. Then I told her to go inform the in-laws and then continue. She did, and they kept it hush-hush. And the house is now standing. And he appreciates her.
Right. Right.
So naturally,
She didn't keep it
so
forever.
The person went on to say, so naturally, people don't really intend to hide the situation, but situations warrant these things. Yeah, that was Benedict.
That's all the comments. Interesting perspective. So before I went on the break, we were talking
I was
about
trying to tell you by own experience. So I grew up in a home where my father had different stepmothers, and because my father was a spender and not a saver, they had to find ways to protect the home, not even themselves now, to protect the home, because when money finishes in my father's hand, money has finished, like finish
to
the end, because there's no savings anywhere. He has a habit of putting money in the boot of the car, under the bed, different suit jackets. That's where he saves his money. So as he's going out, he's doling out cash. I picked up some good habits from that and some bad habits from that, which I had to unlearn in marriage. So I will always have cash. I'm a cash person. This cash crunch that happened, that there was no cash, I felt sick because I'm not used to not having cash. But he would. And so when money, I didn't write my WAEC examinations because there was no money to pay. Yes. So what do you think that would teach a child? To hoard and save so I don't ever get into that situation. So growing up, I saw my stepmothers, they would collect double money, right, from him for everything that he needed to do in the house. So that when there's no money, because he doesn't allow his wife's work, so they have no means of earning their own livelihood. He's capable of taking care of everybody. He doesn't like working wives. I did not meet any of my stepmother hustling or working anywhere. He keeps them well. But because of his nature, money runs out. Then till another transaction happens. So that time that money runs out, he doesn't have savings, he doesn't have anybody he will call to borrow him money. The guys are not working. So how do you think we would survive till another transaction happens? So the transaction I'm talking about, what they think is Yahoo Yahoo. He's Adomonile, he sells land. We have, from a royal family, we have landed properties. 80% of our Saba was sold by my family. Yes. So you see that situation, everybody had to devise means to survive, right? So people hide money in my house. You just come open somewhere by mistake. Somebody has chucked him money. Open another place.
Someone is hiding money.
And when he's broke, he now relies on them. I don't know how, for them to bring out whatever they have.
Okay, can you hold on the story? Yes, we have Victor on. You will finish, don't worry. Victor is on the line. Oh, Victor. Do call us back as soon as you can. Right.
Yeah. So they had to, I saw them hiding money, which will now save us when the rainy days come. Because of my WAEC experience, I was collecting, he knows, I did not hide it. Later on, I confessed to him, he knows. That's why when he wants to do me now, he's doing me seriously. That's my dad. I was collecting double my fees because I may need to pay my fees and he doesn't have, and there's nothing I can do. Remember my WAEC experience. Thank God for GCE. There's nothing I can do about it. So I would double my fees. It was my way of surviving. So I was used to hiding and keeping and hiding.
Padding the budget.
Padding the budget, yes. We talked about it yesterday. I was used to padding the budget to survive, right? Now, when I got into marriage, my husband was not coming from that. He was coming from a place where there was transparency. I know what you have, we know what you have, so that we can work together. It took me a while
to go into it like I did.
Yes, it took me a while. Our first quarrel in the marriage was money. Why are you hiding money? I could not explain why I was hiding money, because in my head, it could be a rainy day somewhere and we don't have. I say, but we plan, we do this, we do that. So sometimes it's good to understand where people are coming from before you pass some kind of judgment. And coming back to religion, I tell people, I say, if our scriptures were written in this day, a lot of things would change. Because no matter how inspired you are of God and the Holy Spirit, you have your human lenses and your human experiences and your human nurture and your human environment that will infuse into the message that you have gotten and give you the interpretation you have today. If we all read one part of scripture, the same part, we will interpret it differently.
Absolutely.
Based on our prism, based on our lenses, based on our experiences. All those things are infused. At the time this Bible was written, or the ancient scriptures and all of that, it was patriarchy.
Yes.
It was so painful that when Jesus Christ fed the 5,000, that women were not in that number. Are you aware? Women were so insignificant to be counted among the number. So maybe would have fed.
Do we have the number of the men that were there?
No, the 5,000 men. When he did the 5 fishes and
5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes.
Yes, that's the miracle I'm talking about. The 5,000 we have that he fed were just men numbered. women were so insignificant that they were not numbered. Children were not numbered.
Was it spelled out that it was just men? But that's not the
At the time, yes. It's the patriarchy at the time. Women were so insignificant. So anybody who is receiving anything would always project that women are insignificant. But it's not the case today. Women now have a voice today. And so even the same Bible that commanded can two work together as well, always advised that wisdom is profitable to direct. So in your particular situation as a married human being, you must look at the situation within you and decide what works for you. There's no template that is, you must, as a married person, you must follow this template in your finances, you must follow this template in your business, you must follow this template in raising your children. No, you will work with what life has presented, using love to guide you, using compassion to guide you, using understanding to guide you, but you must make your own choice. And you must stand by your own decisions, because our stories are different. See how she wants to have her own money now and face her front, and the husband will have their own money and face her front. If they have money and face front, I will not spend his money.
I still spend his money. His money is our money.
Differently. Yeah. Okay. So I was an independent person, very independent right from my teens. I was just independent and did things the way I wanted. And it took my husband a lot to make me get into that space and calm me down to say, relax, I got you. I got you. Let me take care of you. Okay, I hear we have a call. Tijani calling from Abuja. Tijani, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution. Oh, wow. Wow, we need the calls this one.
It's the phone lines, I think.
It's the phone lines, yes. So he was like, relax, I got you. You don't have to, feel like, okay, I'm trying to encroach into your space. In marriage, you can still maintain your individuality.
Yes.
And still be together.
So. Yeah, I believe so.
All you have to do is converse.
Have that conversation.
Have that conversation and all of it. Now, for me, religion guided me a great deal.
Okay.
And I was often inspired by the Holy Spirit, because if I was going to say that, okay, the experiences that I had, it would becloud my judgment a great deal. Now, this is an individual experience. It would becloud my judgment a great deal. And so because the world we live in is shaped by not just what we see physically. Of course. It is also shaped by things that are spiritual. And so that the Holy Spirit helping my judgment guided me beyond my experiences. And so that shaped me.
I like that. Because you had the Holy Spirit. Now many of us had the Holy Spirit when we got married. We now guide those.
Blessing is calling. Oh, we have blessing on the line. Blessing is calling in. Blessing, good morning. Just go ahead with your contribution. Yeah.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. I really love the topic that I'm watching right now.
Right.
And I'm seeing that it's something that I need more explanation on, if people can just talk about it.
Okay.
Now I'm a wife. I'm a working wife. I work. Now my husband feels that maybe taking care of some things in the house is not his business. He's looking for a bigger money to do some projects, which on my own I've been advising him, let's do these things little by little. So that one, he's not in that line. He always wants me to take care of the children, every other thing. Now, my concern is he doesn't take care of me. He doesn't take care of me. Everything that has to do with my health, my clothing, everything, he just leaves it for me. But still, he wants me to make contributions in the house. So, I really don't know how that is to be understood by a wife.
Do you work?
I don't know. I don't know how I should understand that. I keep on asking, do you just marry me for me to just be contributing, and you don't even take care of me, you don't even look at the fact that, this woman needs to be close. Okay, fine. They're thinking because I'm working.
All right. Dawson, can I quickly ask some questions? What work does your husband do? Is he working?
Yes, he's working.
And you too, you're working?
Yes, I'm working.
Right. Okay. The concern you have is that he doesn't take care of you and that he doesn't contribute to the upkeep of the family.
Yes.
And you're looking for explanation on how to go about it, right?
What does he do with his money?
Yes.
What does he do with his money? That's the question BC is asking.
No, I can't really explain. Because sometimes he just tell me, I need to buy the meat, I buy the gas. I think, please, what has just and me got to do with what we're talking about? We're talking of serious things. Now, let's sit down together and say, okay, this is how we're going to spend the money. I think that's okay for me.
Before you got married, did you guys have any conversation on how you intend to work your finances, how to manage your finances?
Yes, I did that because I know what I wanted. I know what I wanted, and I know the kind of family I want to be. So now you have changed everything, turn this around. Now, one thing about me before we got married was that I didn't agree for joint account because I was scared of something. Of which, in the marriage, if it was what I now wanted, I would have maybe joined the money together. But when somebody is now telling me that, oh, even if you join your money with me, I will still not have business with your own family. I would rather take care of my own mother because your mother's care is optional. If you are telling me that my mother's keep or giving her something is optional and why yours is permanent, that's why I now speak to the fact that, oh, sorry, you cannot join money. Thank God I didn't even know who you are. I don't start that thing. With respect to that, I didn't even think of whatever before I said, no, I'm not going to join money with you. So, fine, I would have changed it if it was what I thought or what I like to see that I'm saying. But you're still making it too rigid for me, telling me that my family is not your business. Fine, it's not your business. I'm not saying you should come and carry the load of my own extended family. But at least, for one, she is my mother. She gave me the job. And I should be able to give her something.
How long have you been married?
This is my 8th year in marriage.
8 years.
And it has always been like this?
Yes. Getting so far every day. I'm a very spiritual person, and sometimes I go spiritual. I say, God, just give me the grace to be able to manage something. Sometimes I call him, I say, let's discuss. He's an introvert.
Thank you. All right, Blessing, we'll have a conversation, and I believe that you're still watching for some suggestions. I want to believe the ladies have some suggestions for Blessing. It's a very pathetic situation. 8 years she's been going through this. They had agreed before they got married that this was how they were going to manage their finances. Maybe they just limited the conversation to having a joint account. I do not know. But
how deep that conversation went?
Yes, because you have to look at every aspect. The matter of taking care of our families is also one conversation that people do not really have. How do we take care of our extended families? What do we do for them? How do we intend to manage our resources when we have children? If we intend to have some assets like building houses and all of it, how do we do all of that? Most people do not go the whole hog with having such conversation. But let's hear you, Damola.
For me, I do not know. I still cannot understand why a man cannot take care of his girlfriend, number one, not to talk of the wife. I don't understand the psychology, because if you love is given. You give,
love, the definition of love is relative. Let's understand that.
But no, there's no how. Something must give. You must give something. You must give your time, your attention, your resources. Something must give. You cannot be in a relationship and you watch, even if you're not in a relationship or you're dating the person. If you're my best
Some people do not date for love. Some people do not marry for love.
Yes. A lot of people don't marry for love.
They don't marry for love. They just want to have someone. Yes, security just have someone because societal demands. Yeah. You should have someone in the home.
That's not an ideal situation. Even as
no, we are not saying it's ideal.
Yeah, I cannot watch you
struggle when I have the resources to actually step in. So
that's you now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But I still cannot understand why people watch the people that they love, their loved ones suffer. And I really do not want to trash this. Exactly.
Yes.
Because if I
what she needs is solution.
Solution,
Right,
yeah.
Toby.
Yeah, blessing. We sympathize with you. We
Very important.
understand. We may not fully understand the picture, but we have an idea of what you may be going through. And to be honest, you know, we can't say, you know, for some people say, why is she still there? Leave the marriage now. But you understand the reason why you are still in that marriage, even after 8 years. So you must have conversations still at some point with this man you're married to. And I'm sure you're staying there somewhere or hanging in there because you still love this person. So please, if you can, have the conversation, call people. And then, you know, there's this idea of when they say when you are married, don't involve third parties. Just, you know, people should not be... It depends, people should not know about the things that you're going through. But
This is what I think. Before you get married,
you should have conversations with people that you feel can help you on this journey.
Before you get married to your spouse, know those who your spouse revere.
Yeah, very important.
So that when there are issues of this magnitude, you can go to them to speak to him,
Makes sense.
to listen.
Yes.
Does he have that? If he does, please go to them. Tell them what you have been going through. I don't know if you have spoken with his family about this. I don't know if you have spoken with anyone you know he respects, such that he will listen to them. Because you're having to shoulder so much responsibility, taking care of the family, your parents, and he is saying that he doesn't see a reason why he should step in. It's quite concerning, and it's not healthy for your mind, for your children at the end of the day, because it will be a matter of transferred aggression on her children. So I wish you knew, or anyone he respects, that you can go to have this conversation. I don't know if he goes to any religious house.
They should get a therapist. Leave the religious house first.
Let's leave not everybody believes in therapy. Nigerians, trust me.
Because they
trust me. They feel that they are going to expose themselves. They cannot trust the person.
Wow, it's easier to trust a stranger than somebody who sees you every Sunday.
Hang on. We have Ahmed on the line. Ahmed, go ahead with your contribution, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I want to take off from what one of your panelists just said. Love is a relative term, and it's applicable differently. Now, like someone said a while ago, there's no template for marriage or relationship generally. The mistake we make is that religious leaders tend to tell people, oh, this is what you need to do, this is the book you need to read. You have to apply your situation that works for you individually. Every marriage is different. Someone just said that. Now, you don't, blessing, let me say what blessing just said. Why in a relationship is not working? You're not being married because of your parents, because of your friends, or because of what society think. Sometimes it's even better for your psychology or for your children to leave to walk away. It's the truth. Most of us in Africa, we in this relationship, oh no, don't go, oh, don't manage it. The Holy Spirit will take care of it. Or one imam will tell you, no, God doesn't like divorce. But family, to think about it. Look at the rate of suicide. Look at the rate of depression. Look at the rate of murder. I mean, partners murdering their partners. We know these things have been happening. Look at the example that happened in Abuja recently. When they butchered her husband. I don't know what I don't know what the story is. Then she.
Right. Ahmed, are you still there? Right.
So let me tell you why I said leave the church first. It's not like I'm casting aspersions on
I'm not saying church, I say religious house.
Yes. Leave that one first, because I've realized over time that when it comes to issues of marriage that is brought to religious houses, because they have a template that they follow, which is the Bible, God hates divorce, right? Hold on now.
Wait,
Hold on.
we are not just talking about the Christians.
I know.
Yeah, so.
Different religious bodies. I think Muslims, divorce is allowed, so I'm not very sure about that.
Okay.
But because I'm a Christian, that's the one I know. That's why I'm holding that. When you bring such issues, they don't see it as issues. They say you are the woman, manage him, bear, stay there. And we've seen people who have died from such relationships.
Absolutely.
Where a professional who doesn't have anything between two of you, who doesn't have, your own is, I'm going to be objective about the issues you're bringing to me and find a way to resolve it. We look at it more objectively. And the fact that they're trained psychologically, they know how to get you people to have that conversation you're running away from, which the pastors, they are Holy Spirit filled but don't have those skills. They are different skill sets. And so when we ask that you go see a life coach or you see a therapist, psychologist, they have a skill set that they would use to help you go through your problems and you understand where the issues are and make your decisions.
I get your point.
Right, yes.
I agree with you that life coach, whoever, psychologist, they are trained for that. But I'm saying in this part of the world, most people do not buy that.
Yes, now, but I'm having clients, you know.
I know you're having clients.
People are beginning to,
people are bracing.
It's still slow,
it's
right?
Yes,
but people are beginning.
It's still building on. It's still getting that traction. But then most people do not
believe in that.
Trust. They'll tell you are bringing a third party to our conversation. I do not know this person. I don't know. You know why? Why? Because not necessarily because they see this person every day.
That image of a perfect
human being.
Yes.
They go every day. They go to that worship house. They see this person on a regular, and so have built perhaps some level of trust because of the image the person has created, like she rightly pointed. So for me, before you get married to anyone, know one or two persons that they respect, such that
can call them to order.
That can call them to order, such that you know that the moment you go and say, okay, I'm going to report you to this person. Not necessarily to have to say that. Without saying it, you just call the person. See. And it's not a matter of saying you be calling the person all the time because of one thing or the other. No. In dire situations, you must learn to have a conversation through situations. Situation will happen in marriage. It's often
let me add something little. So I was told early on in life that when you show a man that you can shoulder all the responsibilities, they allow you to relax. They relax. And that's why I'm teaching feminine energy. Because according to one of the laws of the universe, the law of polarity, this is me giving you a snippet now into what we're going to talk about on Saturday.
Which one is the law of the
universe? Energies, like your battery now, you have your positive and your negative battery. They work together. Everybody has a masculine and a feminine energy.
Attracts.
Yes, opposite attracts, yes. Two of the same similar energy cannot be together. It doesn't work. So when you take on, because when we do all of this extra work, we are actually in our masculine energy, which is okay, but you must be able to balance it as a woman. So what I see now is she's in her masculine energy, and when you're in your masculine energy, you will attract a man that is in his feminine energy. Because two masculine cannot be together, two feminine cannot be together. Even in their same-sex relationships, you see one is masculine energy and the other is feminine and predominantly, right? So the man, so that was the explanation they used at the time. They didn't have the term feminine energy and all of that. But this elderly woman told me that when you show a man that you can shoulder everything, you can take care of everybody, you can do all the work, they will sit down. And it's difficult for men to change.
That is a man that is not responsible.
Hold on, sister. They are not as flexible as we are. Women are the ones that are constantly evolving because we are quite hormonal. Men don't evolve as such. So when you start with one leg, it's difficult to get him to understand that you are tired of having this leg. I have elderly people around me who are still fighting because the woman is still complaining that since I married this man over 40-something years, he doesn't give me money to make my hair. They're still fighting. The man believes that, but you have money. Yes. Why should I give you money? You have money till now. Over 40 years of marriage. He met her when she was highly independent and everything, and just assumed that he's good, she's good. And then
all his resources is for extra outsiders and family members and everything.
And
Till
things.
today, we're still settling fights, 40 years of marriage. So that tells me that for men, and when you get older, it's more difficult to change. As you grow older, it's not, there's an adage
Because you are set in your ways.
Yes, and what's that? Yes, you don't learn left-handedness in old age. That's the adage. So it's more difficult as you get older to change. So the advice is find somebody who would help you. Some things I like the way you brought the spiritual. That some things are more spiritual than physical. You know, we like to physicality. We think everything is gra gra gra. There are some situations you would see that you have to fix it at the spiritual level. You have to fix it at the energetic level. It's the same thing. It's just semantics. You have to fix it at the subconscious level. So
She
find
said
the
she's spiritual.
professional. Yeah. Okay, I know. Find a professional that would help you tune into that feminine energy to soften you so that he can play his role as a masculine husband.
Is he ready to? The issue is if he's ready to play his role as a masculine husband.
That's what I'm saying. You're stepping into his role. Yeah. He can't be ready.
No, not about. The
How
issue is we do not understand how they started, right? To know if it was she always taking responsibility.
That has always been.
That's how
I asked. How long have you been married? And it has always been like this.
I'm saying when they started, like dating before they got married.
Now, so it starts now.
So it's we don't know that aspect. Yes, it has begun okay since they got married and blah and stuff, but we do not know what it was
at the beginning.
She display that I can shoulder this responsibility.
I'm sure she did. That's why he relaxed.
So what? No, because she said they had a conversation of not having joint account or having joint account. They had some conversation. They agreed.
They could have had the conversations, but the actions were different.
So that's what on YouTube would buttress what you're saying. Yesterday, Shonaike says marriage is like night market. It is the morning that you know what you really bought. Like Bisi said, your situation depends on decisions taken within the marriage. And Gladys also says, marriage is likened to be a package bought from the market. You can only open it when you get home.
Jesus.
We need to be prayerful when going into marriage.
You can pray and things will fail. It's not about prayer.
See, it's a mixture of a lot of things. It's a combination of a lot of things. Yes, you have the physical aspect, you have the spiritual aspect, you have the subconscious aspect, our Madam Energy. You have every aspect that comes together to make the marriage work. That's the truth. We know that, yes, there are forces who are against this and that marriage and all of it, but you must be able to understand all of these aspects and know when to bring each card out to resolve any situation that you have to. You know how you also know how to approach the man when he's in his state where you know that when I have a conversation with him, he will listen to me. A man is, even a madman, have 5 minutes of clarity of saneness. No matter how mad that person is, there is that moment when the person will be able to listen to you, and it should make sense to him, except there's much more than that.
So she needs to not declare. What does she need to do right now?
Looking for solution. To tap into this because we don't have that time. We have said so many things, right? We have said so many things on the table that
she should be declaring that she have money.
See, we do not have that time. She has so many things we have said on this table that it is left for her to begin to decide, look into which would work for her. But first, she has to embody to be able to decipher which would work for her. Right now, there is not much solution. She has to make up her mind. It is the decision it still has at the end of the day. Whatever the solution we put forward, the decision it still has at the end of the day. We have to wrap things up right now, unfortunately. The beautiful game is up next, and we have to go, and we have to go. It's good to have you, Bisi.
Oh, sweetie, I enjoyed it.
We enjoyed you.
That's all we can take on today's show. Thank you for being a part of the show. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.